What is going on, guys? Quality XA here today, and today I'm actually bringing you guys a brand new live stream breakdown from the Curse of Osiris #1 live stream that we did see yesterday. Now, if you guys would like to check that out, then please do. There's a link in the description below to the full live stream. I urge you to check it out just in case there's some points that I did miss, but today I'm only breaking down the vital and really juicy information bits that I wanted to discuss in this video. So, let's get right into this. So first off, we're going to be talking about the raid content. Now, Bungie has been teasing raid content for this DLC. We didn't know whether it was going to be an actual fresh raid with new stuff in a new location, but it is actually a new thing known as raid Lairs. Now, what raid Lairs are, they are basically layers of a raid. So as you guys know, we've got the Leviathan raid. In this raid, you have the 3 puzzles and you have the boss. Now you actually have a raid lair. Now what this is, if you guys did or did not know, the Leviathan is Eater of the Worlds. It's actually a huge ship. Now what we did find and discover on the Leviathan was only a third of that ship. We've still got a load more places to explore in that raid. Now, this new raid lair system, you actually explore a brand new part of the World Eater ship. So, you actually go to a brand new location, what we have never ever seen before, in which you actually do 3 more puzzles which are just as challenging. They don't take as long, but apparently you will still die a load of times, which in my opinion is brilliant. Now with this comes new gear, new weapons, a load of new emblems, as well as new boss is to fight. I don't know how many bosses, but they did only state 1, so maybe there's still 3 challenge rooms and then you will have 1 boss at the end. But this is basically a mini raid, I want to call it. It will add a load of new endgame loot for us to collect and also have more endgame content for us to participate in. As well as that, I did want to mention that there is a slot on the right, and they did say in expansion 2 we will also get another lair for the Leviathan raid ship, which is excellent. It's going to add a load of new content, and like I said, there is going to be prestige mode for these as well. So when expansion 2 does come around, we're going to have 3 raids, basically 1 main one as well as 2 mini ones. But in the mini ones you will also see the different bosses, different puzzles and different challenges, which is excellent. So it does add on to that end game feeling, and in every single one you actually get different gear as well as a level increase, weapons, emblems, all of that kind of stuff what I was discussing before. But the raid layers do seem pretty good content. Let me know in that comment section below on what you guys personally think about the raid layers. Next up, we have that Brother Vance is actually returning to the Lighthouse. Now, Brother Vance, he is going to be one of the main characters in this storyline. He is also going to be our main world vendor. Now, we do know that we are going to get Osiris Engrams from him, which is really cool. And I do believe the gear that we are going to get is these here. So, as you guys can see, we've got the Warlock actually going up to the Titan as well as the Hunter here. And these honestly look incredible. I really love the look of the Titan specifically, but these are going to be one of the many gear sets in this Curse of Osiris DLC. We've also got the Warlock here just sitting down outside of the new raid as well. I wanted to show you guys that so you can see he's got this brand new helmet and everything just looks incredible from these 3 characters. It looks really, really awesome indeed. Next, I wanted to talk about the public event that they did mention. If you guys didn't know, in the live stream, they mentioned about a brand new public event on the new space in Mercury. Now, this public event is going to be the biggest public event that they have ever done, and it sounds huge from what they was describing, and will take a little bit more time than what you'd usually put in a public event.
Public events. We have this is a pretty big deal for us as well. We have a bespoke public event. It is handcrafted for the space and integrated into the public space.
Okay. A rather big public event from what I've heard.
It's our largest to date.
Next up, we actually have some information about forging weapons. Now, this was the biggest thing that I took away from this live stream because it seems insane and will add a load of possibilities to this game. So, as you guys can see in the background, they have almost like this Osiris tablet which has a load of slots linked to them. Now, this is going to be a history tracker. All of these dots actually represent a certain mission or certain objective that you guys will have to complete. Now when you actually complete these, you will be able to forge an Osiris weapon and actually turn it into a Vex weapon. So you'll be able to use the Vex technology and infuse it into a weapon and give it almost like these different abilities what it would usually not have. It sounded really cool from what they described. I will let the actual clip play out because they do describe it better than what I described it, but regardless, it is still amazing and a really cool piece of innovative stuff that Bungie's actually put in the game.
What is this installation right here?
So this is basically a tracker or a history marker for some of the optional activities that you're going to be able to have as a player at the end of campaign.
Okay.
If you actually look at your hand cannon that you got in your hand right now,
yep.
That's actually one of the destination themed weapons. That is like basically the notion is older weapons that Osiris has grabbed, taken, and modified using Vex technology.
Yeah.
You actually have an opportunity to go and adventure for the ability to forge these types of weapons.
Okay.
And that object that you're looking at right now, that actually shows you the markers of all the different ones that you've been able to create to date.
Yeah, so we've got a couple of glyphs or runes or some sort of holograms here that are active, and each of those nodes represents a different weapon?
Absolutely does.
And I will acquire these throughout the campaign, after the campaign? How does
after
this
the campaign,
work?
and it's all optional quests that you can do as a player.
And so each one is represented by a quest?
Yes.
And I can see here that you seem to have hacked into some Vex technology and wired it into this installation over here.
Yep, we call that the forge. That's actually where you'll take all your elements and you'll bring them together and you're able to forge these weapons.
Look at that, we're worse than the Fallen. Okay.
Next up, we have that heroic strikes are actually going to be returning in Destiny 2. Now, I do like the idea of this. I just wish and hope that they add strike-specific loot to this, because in my eyes, strikes are actually boring compared to what they used to be in Destiny 1. When you had strike-specific loot, you always had something to go for in these strikes. So it was really fun in my opinion. Loot is the biggest thing that Destiny has. And unfortunately, at the start of Destiny 2, they have not actually implemented that into the game. So hopefully they implement the strike-specific loot as well as add some awesome things to make us play strikes. Next, we actually have this cool little prism walkway which leads into the Infinite Forest. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with the Infinite Forest, it's actually a simulated world that the Vex can actually create. Now, from what it sounds like, this world will change every time you go into it. Now, there is set layers for this, so when you go in, there won't be just some absolutely random way and you can't get across. There are builds for this, but there's only a limited amount of builds, which in my eyes is really cool. You will be able to go in and see different structures every time you actually go into this. Obviously, if you go through it so many times, you'll eventually start seeing the same ones you saw before, but it is really, really cool indeed, because we will see different layouts for enemies and hopefully new ways to actually play in this little simulated zone, and it does sound extremely awesome indeed and looks incredible. And then last but not least, guys, I did want to finish off with this clip where they actually describe some of these brand new zones. You have this really awesome zone that they do show towards the end of the clip, which is known as the Dark Mercury, or the dark version of Mercury, which is deep in the future, which you can actually, I do believe, go to, because there will be time traveling in this DLC as well as the simulated worlds. So it sounds really cool and it looks absolutely insane. So I'm not going to ruin it for you. I'm going to let you watch this clip. And as always, guys, if you did enjoy this video, please do smash a like on it. Leave a comment as well. Let me know what you think of what we have seen today. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
But then also by venturing through the gate, you can start to explore the mechanisms, that is the machine, and then also past, present, and future of Mercury.
So this is a concept of the Infinite Forest. This is essentially how they jump through time and space and look at every possible eventual outcome of everything that they do.
Right. I call it trying to find the equation for the future.
As the Vex move through this space and as they tackle every different possible reality, what is that? How does that manifest itself physically in that environment?
So, great question. Fabulous question. One of the things that we wanted to make sure early on, when we're starting to think about how we want to interact with the Vex and get into their lore, their ecology, we want to be able to expose players not only to the present Vex that that they've seen and they've fought against for quite some time, But this now is an opportunity for us to dig deeper into the precursors and the descendants, which are also going to be facing in Curse of Osiris. This landscape that you're also seeing, I think it's really important to talk about how the gameplay unfolds inside of the Infinite Forest. It's the way that we built it. It's the first time you play through this mission, you'll run through it and you'll experience certain foes and certain objectives. And if you were to run through that mission again, odds are that space is not going to play out the exact same way.
The space is different. The enemies that you may face is different.
Right.
Would you say that this is procedurally generated?
Absolutely not.
No.
So this is lovingly crafted, very intelligently assembled in a way that we can create new and unique experiences every time you come into the Infinite Forest.
Yeah. What are we looking at here?
So this is dark. This is deep into the future. We call this. We refer to this picture as the dark future.
Okay.
This is where the sun has gone dead. What you see in the foreground there is the Lighthouse. After like a tremendous amount of entropy, there is no life on the planet. The only thing that remains is Vex.
There's no life anywhere. No light, no dark, just Vex.
Just Vex. Just nothing to light the way, but just a sea of red vexed eyeballs.
Right.
This is a piece of concept art created by?
This is by Dorje.
Dorje Bellbrook.
Man, stellar.
Wonderful, wonderful work. And then this is what it looks like inside of the game.
Right. That's the Lighthouse in the dark future.